What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the Rich and Turbo Heavy Half Hour. You get myself, Rich. Find me on all the socials at rich.paiva and X at Fuzz Doom Rip. Doing reviews for Musicpedia of Metal and as a Doom Charts contributor. And also, the show is a sponsor of Tampa Doom and Gloom Fest 3, which we're very excited about. More to follow on that. Turbo, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm sitting here inside cool while my 85-year-old mother's outside mowing the yard.
That sounds
So
like
I'm the
the
I'm the good son.
Yeah, you are definitely the good son. You need some exercise. It's good. It's, fresh air and everything. We're very excited to have Zach Amster from the band Abrams on the show. And Zach, you were on the show before, one of our earlier shows talking about your new record then. But now Abrams has a brand new record coming out on April 17th. It's called Loon. It is on Blues Funeral. And we have had the pleasure of hearing it, and holy crap, is it amazing. Zach, welcome to the show. How are you? It's been a little while.
Oh, hello. Yeah, Rich and Turbo. Thanks for having me back. Yeah, excited to be here. Stoked to talk about it with you.
Yeah, so one of the things that I've noticed about Loon, again, April 17th, everybody, make sure there's three singles available right now so to get the vibe of what we're talking about here. Definitely some more um, angst, anger, or they kind of just getting some stuff out there from, I guess, it's not that hard to channel that given the state of the world today. But are we hearing some more, of that angst and that anger come out in the music that you guys are writing?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely, when we finished our last record, Blue City, we were really pumped on that record too. But like we never really want to like keep repeating ourselves. And we're as a band and as musicians and artists, we're always trying to I guess just grow and do something different. And that was like a huge goal for this record, specifically Loon. And I just wanted to write we just as a group really wanted to kind of go for the more like heavy, aggressive kind of type of style. I wouldn't say, I guess like naturally like politics, just the way the world is going, the way, what we're kind of having to deal with. Naturally is an inspiration, but more so just wanting to write like heavier music and that would transfer more so to a live environment where we can just bust it out like, like no problem. Where some of the older records, some of the stuff was kind of like maybe a little bit more difficult to transfer, and play live with a lot of overdubs and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's definitely an angry record, and yeah, I'm happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds amazing. Ryan's Dewitt still the drummer in Abrams. He's got to bring a double kick drum now, apparently.
Yeah.
If that's a thing
Well, he's
now.
always had the double kick, but now we're making him use it.
Like,
He's like,
just
fine. I think he's happy about it.
it was, yeah, it was I had to actually for a second, I recognized Abrams' sound, but then when I heard that, I'm like, "Am I listening to the same band here?" Because that aggression came out and especially noticed in the drumming. I guess you didn't have to convince him that he's gonna have some faster or heavier parts.
Yeah, I mean, just the tempos are just a lot more upbeat, up tempo, and just aggressive, like loud ass guitars. We really wanted to kind of just dumb it down for us when we actually went into the studio with like, man, close to 20 songs. So like we write really fast, we write a lot of music, and I'm really glad that we did because um we went in the studio locally here in Denver, and we only booked 2 weeks, which seems like a long time, but for 20 songs, I think it was probably more closer to 15, but it felt like a million. Anyways, we wanted to go in with the idea of like, all right, let's maybe, do like a double record or something, or just go in with like all that we have because we didn't really know what was gonna make the record. And we kind of have like an inkling, like maybe this one will work out, but like things always change in the studios. Some of the songs that we went in with thinking that we're gonna make the record didn't. It's nice to go in there with like some extra ammo and some a little bit of a safety net with some extra songs. So because I just want to make it like 10 straight bangers back to back, all killer, no filler. Um, was the way that we kind of our approach this record. So it was nice to do that.
I think it's like 36 minutes or something like that, or 34 minutes. So
Yeah,
it's very much a record that you can listen to 3 times in a row, and it could just fly by. Uh,
it's concise. Yeah,
yeah, and not necessarily that's a really good thing. It's especially with some of the attention spans these days, and the way that people consume. I was telling Turbo earlier that it's like the most 90s album that I've heard since the 90s in the best kind of way.
I love that, man.
It
I've always loved that stuff. I mean, like I kind of hear that a lot with our last couple records too, but I mean that's when we grew up, right? That's when I started to get really inspired by music and I still fall back on those same bands that inspired me then. I always go back to that stuff.
oh, I'm gonna call out a few of them afterwards. But Turbo, what do you have for Zach? I know you spent some time with the record too.
I feel like the opposite, but then again, I was really high during the '90s, so I listened to different music than Rich did. Um, but to me, it feels more advanced as far as it feels like you were leaving behind your influences and becoming a band of your own. I was imagining through all the touring and everything that y'all have been doing, that it kind of helped you shape into the image that you have now. Is that a pretty accurate statement?
Yeah, I'd say so. To me, it feels. I mean, I feel like it's our most honest record. I mean, I want to say like all our records are pretty honest. It's always like a stamp in time, right? Like you sit down and start writing songs, and like whatever comes out, and like you share it with the band, and do they dig it? They put in their influence too, and it changes. So it's not a question of honesty, but yeah, I mean, like it feels. Our main goal, kind of like hinting at like what I was talking about earlier, was to like kick ass live. And I think like with the way that we played these songs live and the way we're able to like tailor our sets, like this album, we didn't record it live, but like we want it to feel like that, like just not a lot of crazy, like studio tricks, just record it. Songs are good, performances are good. Let's give it to the label. Let's go. That was the main goal, is just to like, keep people moving when we're playing.
I feel
Turbo,
like if this was the natural progression of the way things used to be with like record labels, this would be your breakout album. So what I feel is, if,
Let's hope,
hopefully,
man.
right. I still hope it is. Uh,
that is a very 90s thing to say, Turbo, because that's kind of like how you used to look at stuff. Like the first record was kind of the debut, and the second, and it was kind of this natural progression. It's funny you say that though, Turbo, because I shout out to my good friend Questionable Jay, who is of a generation before me, and heard the single on the new record and was like, "Holy shit, what's going on here?" And wound up going and buying all your records because there is kind of this resurgence of the love of the stuff of that time. And I don't want to say in a retro way, but just in an understanding how awesome that period of music was. And I just try to get him to stop listening to like Good Charlotte and shit like that. So I'm very excited that he's listening to this stuff. When you guys play, what does your crowd look like? What's the demographic there? Are there like dudes that are our age, young people, a mix of everything? Who is
It's
into Abrams?
That's a good question. It's a mix, but I mean, when we Denver, it's more of a mix. It's definitely like a little bit maybe on the younger side, but when we tour, it's a lot of like millennial, Gen X type of males, a lot of males. So I'd say like, like 30s to late 50s or something. So that's kind of the main range right there. But yeah.
You listen to the record and like Turbo mentioned, like the breakout record, like everyone who would hear this, who I would know, regardless of generation and regardless of whatever demographic we're looking at, would enjoy this because it reminds me of all that stuff that everybody enjoyed then from, 30 to whatever age. Turbo, what were you listening to that I wasn't listening to in the 90s? Now we need to have this discussion. I have a feeling it's going to lean like I was listening to Quicksand while you were listening to something way more different than Quicksand.
Like the Screaming Cheetah Wheelies,
There, see,
more
yeah,
blues based.
yeah. This is where we would have had strange looks at each other in the hallways.
Well, that's funny because I mean, I didn't get into quicksand until 6 years ago, So like a lot of the stuff that like I grew up with was more like the like Seattle stuff, the grunt, the like the famous grunge stuff, and then I started to break out into more like the deeper kind of cuts in that scene, like the Dead Moons, the Wipers, the weird punk stuff, and all the DC stuff. So like that was like what started it for me. It was like the big four in Seattle, and then kind of just go from there.
Yeah, without it being derivative at all, you hear a lot of all of that different stuff. Like I sent a note to my buddy Jay about um, hey, you like Quicksand, and sent. I think it was I think it's Last Nail. I think it's the one that I'm thinking of there. And like the post-hardcore stuff is some of my favorite stuff, and I just kind of hear that. I hear some stuff like Sunny Day Real Estate, and where when we talked last time, I was thinking more on like the shoegazy stuff, but this
Yeah, yeah,
more of
yeah.
the aggressive stuff that I'm hearing. That's more of the post-hardcore, maybe post-emo stuff. To
A little
use a
bit,
word.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I one of the bands that like changed my life in high school was like At the Drive-In. At the Drive-In, Mars Volta stuff. That's like when I was in high school, and that stuff was starting to get like really popular, and I was like, "What is this? Is I've never heard this before." And so those bands have always been like a huge influence for us.
All right,
Uh,
Turbo, close your ears. At the drive-in rabbit hole. One of my top 10 favorite bands of all time. When did you figure out, or was it Relationship of Command where you kind of figured that
well,
out, or
Relationship Command came out, and then they broke up, so I didn't get into them till Louse in the Comatorium came out. So I was first Mars Volta, and I was like, "This shit is weird." And that was like the biggest grower of an album. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. But I remember I had a buddy who's like I gave him like a live Nirvana bootleg, and he gave me Relationship of Command. And then I was like, this is the greatest record I've ever heard. And then I went back to In Casino Out via EP, and those, yeah, those all those records, even Acrobatic Tenement, like terrible recording, but like great songs. So yeah, I was a diehard. I still am. I got to see the reunion tour a couple times, but yeah, I love
that's
all that
awesome.
stuff.
Never
Yeah.
got to see them. And it's a shame because number one, yeah, they broke up, and there was a band called the Blood Brothers who broke up at like the same time, and it was always very very depressing to me that I never actually got to see them. Now I have to listen to your stuff with kind of At the Drive-In in mind because like now I'm starting to hear some things. Um, the EP El Gran Orgo, which I
Yeah.
think to me is the most underrated At the Drive-In thing that they've done. It's just 7 songs, and somehow recording in whatever shitty shack they were recording in El Paso, they were able to get like this urgency to their music, and the vocals are so weird, the guitar parts are so weird, and then you get Jim Ward doing the background. Anyway,
Yeah. Great
love
band.
that you love At the Drive-In. That's a heck song.
Yeah.
Sorry, Turbo, your turn. My bad.
Well, I'm sorry. Waking back up. Did you the vocals on this? Did you do something different? Did you using a filter, or is there more harmonizing going on with y'all? I can't tell, but it seems like there's your
Yeah.
vocals seem a little fuzzier. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think that just goes back to the kind of more aggressive style of the songs, and I definitely have grown as a vocalist, and I only started singing like maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago or whatever, and just have been really made it a priority to focus on that as an instrument because it's definitely was, I never sang and I was like, screw it, we'll learn how to do it. And so I just feel really proud of, how, the progression it's come and the way the music was for this record, it needed the vocals needed to match that intensity. So there really wasn't there's definitely a lot more like aggressive screaming kind of type of vocals, but I still need the hooks, right? I'm a sucker for hooks. Um there's some harmonies on there, but yeah, it's just I think my vocal style changed a little bit and just maybe a little bit more confident, which I think can come across in the recording, which is definitely I think a good thing. Um and yeah, I'm really proud of how the vocals turned out. So I think there's maybe a couple on some of the more aggressive songs, maybe in the mix there might be like some tricks that Andrew Schneider, he mixed the record, fantastic um mixing engineer. Maybe throw some like fuzz or some sort of like tube driven like overdrive on some of those more aggressive parts that kind of warm it up and like saturate it a little bit. But yeah, just kind of went for it full bore.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
reminds
was gonna
me.
say that's one of the
Can't throw.
strengths of this albums is your vocals, and you've come a
Yeah.
long way, especially if you've only been singing for 5 years, man. You're doing really great.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah.
The melodic parts really come out in your vocals and like the vocal patterns that come out and it very much and I mentioned Quicksand again, but Walter from Quicksand and his other bands like Rival Schools, like when he gets
Yeah.
more melodic, like that's I
Yeah.
think where I'm hearing a lot of that and his voice kind of evolved from that first EP
Yeah.
that he did through like Manic Compression and the newer stuff. So
Yeah. I
um,
mean, we got to play with them a couple years ago, and that was just super awesome because I mean, I've been again, I was like late to the quicksand game, and yeah, Walter's got a fantastic voice, and it was with Stephen Brodsky was playing guitar with them too, so it was the 4-piece version, which was really great, and it was awesome to open for them. So
that's
hopefully,
amazing.
hopefully we'll get to do it again soon.
That's awesome. I got to see Quicksand, at a festival. It was just them playing as a three-piece, and Walter's
3-piece.
equipment just took a shit the whole time, but he just stayed
Oh
so
no,
positive, and he was so, like he just was having such a great time, and at this
that's
point
awesome.
in the career, he's on the smaller stage at this big festival, but he had, like, hundreds of people singing along to his songs, and he just didn't let anything bother him. It was
That's
excellent.
awesome. That's the mindset you got to have, man, because it's a tough industry, and like I'm sure he's super grateful with how far that band has come along, and they got fans showing up. So I mean, he's just having a good time.
You mentioned Brodsky, and I think Caven's another band that I kinda hear in some of the
Yeah.
the the more the Jupiter and Onward Caven stuff, mid early 2000s stuff. I don't know if you ever heard the album Jupiter by Caven.
But yeah, for sure.
Oh god,
Great album. I love that album. Is that the major label one where like everyone hates it because it's like super
it was the
commercial?
one right before that.
Right before it? Okay.
And I remember reading, I remember I used to go and just mail order all these punk records from No Idea Records, and, they had Caven Jupiter, and they're like, "Sounds like Russian Pink Floyd." Really? That was the description, and it was like,
Yeah.
"All right, cool." And then, yeah, it just kinda blew me away, but speaking of playing live, you guys are doing some cool stuff. You are playing in Desert Fest in London, is that correct? Did I
Yeah.
see that correctly?
Yep. We're doing a tiny little UK run in May, and it's our first time over there, so we have no idea what to expect. We expect it to be awesome and a lot of fun and a crazy stressful experience, which it's already been. And
Just planning it?
we haven't even left. When a war starts and
Yeah.
prices start hiking out of nowhere, it gets a little stressful, but we're gonna make the most of it. We're gonna channel our inner Walters and just be positive. But I know Desert Fest is gonna be awesome. 4 shows in the UK as well. Um, yeah, it should be a good time. So we're really excited.
Yeah, I'm just looking at who's playing the Saturday that you guys are playing, and yeah,
We're playing like the smaller room. We're direct support to High Desert Queen. I can't remember who's playing the big room.
Green Lung, I bet. But
Oh,
just
is it
based
Green
on what I'm
Lung?
seeing here, I would bet it's Green
That's funny
Lung.
because we played New York City Desert Fest a couple years ago, and Green Lung was the headliner too. So they get to recycle a lot of the bands, but no, we're stoked. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
the
Kate
lineup looks
Figs.
great, and I mean, I've had friends play, and they said not like you're gonna have a blast.
Yeah,
So
I just yeah, it's amazing. That lineup. And are you doing a U.S. tour? I'm assuming you're doing a U.S. tour too. That would
yeah, we're working on finalizing some stuff. Soon we should be announcing that end of April. So that and more info on that soon, but it's still in the works. Can't give you too many details about that yet because I don't know them yet.
would love if you guys got the other side of the Mississippi in some way.
Are you guys on the east side?
Florida would love a show. Would love an Abrams
Florida?
show.
Florida's tough to get to.
I know. Well, Florida would love one.
Hopefully we'll make it work one of these
It's
days,
tough. I
but
know. I
yeah,
know.
it's tough. It's tough.
I just saw randomly shows pop up. I got to see Temptress and
Great.
kind of label mates of yours, right? On Blues Funeral
Yes,
Temptress.
yes, they're on Blues Funeral. Yeah. Where
So
so are you in we're in Florida?
I'm in Melbourne, so I got to go see the Orlando
Melbourne.
show.
Okay. Very cool.
It was
Where's
good
Turbo
stuff.
at?
No, I'm in Tennessee. I'm in the
Tennessee? All right.
middle.
Nice.
But I wanted to mention Blues Funeral, as Chad has his finger on the pulse of what's awesome right now. And you guys are on Blues Funeral now, and you're part of the PostWax. So you guys will have the fancy PostWax vinyl as part of that subscription.
Yeah, we are part of the PostWax. I don't think we get those for like selling on tour or anything, but I do believe that they're, available through the website and signing up for that. But yeah, what
Yeah,
a great label. Just like amazing bands. I mean, he just signed Elder for their next one. So there's there's always cool shit that he's putting out. So he's been great.
yeah. Between Blues Funeral and Magnetic Eye, that just released the new Heavy Eyes record is coming out on Magnetic Eye, which is pretty
Yeah.
amazing too. Um,
Yeah.
just Jad is the man and has a lot of amazing stuff happening. Um,
Very true.
Turbo, what else you got?
The album cover. I love this album cover. It seems simplistic, but it's very in depth, and to me, it is. Especially, it seems like you got different patterns going on, in like in Loon, the word, and then I can't tell if this is an ocean water pick or if it's a dirt pick, like a field or anything like that. Who put that together for you?
Yeah, I love it too, man. Our my buddy Sam Grant, he's an amazing photographer, videographer, graphic designer in Los Angeles, and I met him through my brother, and he was willing to help out like immediately. I sent him the record, and I was like, just do whatever you want, man. I gave him like a little bit of a vibe, like the record's very crazy, and like it's supposed to be very chaotic and just unsettling, and sent him some lyrics, and he came back and nailed it. And when I was coming up with the name for naming a record, it's so hard. It's like naming a child or like a pet, and it's just like it's because it's like you're like thinking so hard about it, and I'm like one day I'm just like it's like just like kept on thinking like lunatic, like because it's kind of it's a personal kind of, it's all lyrics are always personal for me, but like they kind of just, it's music first, and then like I kind of ad lib, and just like these words, the lyrics that just come straight out of me, out of the ether, and then I reread them, and they sometimes they don't end up making sense until you know I get the recording back like 8 months after I wrote the song, and I'm like, wow, dude, this is exactly what I was feeling, and I didn't even think about writing it down. It's kind of crazy how it can work like that. So I was thinking about like, just something along that theme of just being a lunatic. I'm like, Loon, like, just like a lunatic, Loon for short. And then I gave him that, the big block letters. I gave him a couple of like, I loved Unsane. I don't know if you guys know Unsane, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it kind of very like sometimes this album kind of reminds me a little bit of some of that stuff, like that that kind of Unsane vibe in their album. They're like their big block letters. I was like, I want a big like 90s block art, pop art, and he came back with it, and I was like, you nailed it, man. Yeah, I believe it's an ocean. He took the photo, and it's just an ocean, and just he just doctored it up to, you know, making it look sweet.
I was convinced it was an ocean until Turbo said it could not be an ocean, and now I'm like,
Maybe it's not. I don't know.
now
I assumed it was
I'm
an
looking at it, I'm
ocean.
like,
Like I don't know what it is.
that's so funny you mentioned Unsane. Such a 90s album cover, like you said, and I just remember
Yeah.
that video. He had no, they had there was no chance of them being on MTV at that time until they did that video. Do you know what video I'm talking about?
Which one? Which song?
Grape,
Biz
the one where
Queen?
they have all the skateboard fails. And it's
Oh,
just
I
people
don't
just
know.
getting hurt doing skateboard things. And that's it. It's just a compilation of that. And people love that. And next thing you know,
Yeah.
Unsane has like a buzz clip on MTV. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, those block letters and the way that,
Yeah.
love that.
I just love the big bold. It's gotta be big and bold, you know, just like people can see it. Now they like they don't know who the name of the album versus the name of the band, but it doesn't matter. They're big ass letters.
Yeah. Love it. What is your favorite song on this record right now? Do you have one?
Ooh. Yeah, it changes. I mean, I would say I can give you a couple. I would say Said and Done is like a really fun one for me to like play because it's like my favorite vocal part on the record is on that song, like during the bridge, because it's just like I don't know, it's really groovy, and it just like I was really happy with how that turned out. Um, what's the name of the last song?
Sirens.
Sirens.
Sirens. I love Sirens because that's like a kind of a little bit of an outlier because it's like, you know, maybe it'd be like more of a Blue City song because it's more like mellow, but it's still like heavy and it's in the weirdest tuning, the weirdest guitar tuning that, you know, we'll probably won't be able to play live until we can afford like guitar techs. Um, so never. But that song I love. Great lyrics and like just the way the guitars are tuned and like sounds. It's like a Sonic Youth kind of vibe with the guitar tuning. And then, you know, the last nail, just cause like that was like the last we were like really trying to figure that song out. It's like it's super poppy, but like heavy, and like we finished it like last minute. We just dumbed it down and like made it like, you know, just like simpler. And I think that just made the song shine a little bit. And it's just got like a really good kind of up tempo hook to it. So, um, those are my three favorite. I mean, I love all of them. I really do think the album just like front to back, like there's like some of our best guitar riffs and it's just good guitar rock and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Love it. I I joke around about this a lot with bands that have the 90s vibe, but it's like I always wanted the Foo Fighters to be better than what
Yeah.
they were. Like that first record was great, and I always wish they
Yeah.
did stuff like this. Like they
Yeah.
just stop trying to be like, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it, but they just stop being raw and stop being like fun.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I want to say it, but like this is why I continue to say, like, it's, like, the most '90s record to me because it has all of that. It's got that weird tuning. It's got that just vibe to it. It's got the vocals that remind me of that. It's got, like, the big sound, but also, like, straight ahead rock song, just right
Yeah.
specifically in that wheelhouse for me. Have you played these songs live yet? Or have you done some shows with these songs?
Yeah, actually, we were kind of in like a little pickle because we got like offered to do the Dozer tour in August last year, and then it was kind of like it wasn't last minute, but we had like we had plans to record in September. So we're like, how are we gonna? So we ended up just like playing most of this stuff live on that tour, and just like screw it, you know, people are here to see Dozer, like let's just get really into these songs and play them live. So we played them on that tour right before hitting the studio, and I want to do that like every time because I mean it's always fun to play the new stuff because like that's I it's hard sometimes it can be hard. I don't even know how some bands can play like how does Pearl Jam play alive like every night? How boring is that for them? Or like those huge bands that play like their hits. We don't have any hits, but like I just love you know um like the freshest stuff, like that's brand new and exciting to us, can get like the most out of our we can get the most out of our performance because like we're performing honestly and like really just vibing with like how fresh it all feels and playing that doing that in front of an audience was like really great to test out the songs. And we were like, hell yeah, we're ready. Let's hit the studio. And like we were tour tight and we hit the studio in and out and done with the record. Let's figure out what to do next.
How was touring with Dozer? I mean,
It was
I
awesome.
assume that was
Yeah.
amazing.
It was really great. It was Dozer and Moon Destroys, and it was like 2 weeks. It was pretty short, but it was West Coast. We did our first trip to Vancouver, first trip to Canada, which was cool, but, the turnouts were great. Dozer guys were awesome. Moon Destroyer guys were great, and, good turnouts, and, yeah, it was really fun. I wish, every tour could be like that, when you get like a good package and especially a band like Dozer who's been doing it forever and like that there's gonna be good turnouts and they put on a hell of a show. So it was great.
And you mentioned that you don't have hits, but there's a lot of people who go see your shows, I'm sure, who are fans and know
Yeah.
your work. Are there songs that you don't get away with without playing live? Like the fans would consider them their hits that if you skip that song, they'd be pissed.
We do hear some stuff. Yeah, like I wish you played tomorrow or, some of that stuff so that tomorrow was the first song off of Blue City and it's like maybe our most stoner rock kind of song because like we're on a stoner rock label, we kind of get grouped into a lot of that stuff and I don't think we're like anywhere near like being a stoner rock band, but that's fine. I mean it has the word rock in it, I'm cool with it.
Okay.
um and so we get that a lot and because like we were always scared to play that song because it's in a weird tuning and we're actually rehashing it out. We're going to be playing it live now because we just I got to sing a little bit higher to hit the tuning, so I'm just working on that. And so there's that song. There's a couple songs off of "In the Dark" that people want to hear, but we're like, too much work. It's kind of goes back to that thing of like some of those records were like, especially "In the Dark" was like really heavily produced. It's probably one of my favorite records that we've done. Probably my top favorite record, just like good songs, good like vibe, atmosphere, and some of those songs are just good studio songs. It's just there's too much going on in the release, which is cool to like dumb down a little bit. But when we only have 30 minutes, like typically for like an opening slot, I just wanna fucking hit it hard, like for 30 minutes straight. Don't even say anything, just where Abrams thinks, and then get off the stage,
Go.
you know?
I
If
I was
we start doing longer sets, like hour-long sets, like, like, yeah, we'll mix in some older stuff, like some chiller stuff, but right now it's like, let's just hit them hard.
Yeah, I was bugging, the crew in Temptress, telling them what songs I wanted to hear, and they're like, "Dude, like, it's a 30-minute set, and our songs are, like, 8 minutes long, so you get what you
Yeah,
get at this point,"
yeah.
is basically what I was told, and I accepted that absolutely from Christian and crew.
Bands love hearing that shit though, dude. It means the world because, like, when people say that to me, it's like, oh wow, you guys like came here for us. Like, hell yeah. Like, like on a bigger picture, like we're a small little art project that we play music because we enjoy it. And, if people dig it, that's great. But when they come to the show and like you see the same people coming back to the shows and they bring their friends, it's like, dude, this is cool. We should fucking had a 401k, but it is what it is.
Turbo actually coined a new genre yesterday on one of our interviews.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was humidity rock, right? Isn't that what you coined for our friends in Mr.
that's some
Earthbound?
Middle Tennessee rock right there.
It was Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, because we were debating on genres, and yeah, Turbo coined it.
Richmond has great bands.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, great music scene.
yeah. They were telling
Windhand,
us all
right?
about it,
Windhand's from
and
there.
trying to figure out what it was, and love that. I think hopefully they'll use that as the tag on their new album.
Like it,
Um,
humidity rock.
Turbo, anything else you have for Zach?
Well, I'm always hearing things, and this one I'm probably really wrong about. But you were
Oh, I love
discussing
it. I
about
love hearing the weird stuff.
you were discussing about how Last Nail was put together, and I feel like 2 or 3 times in that song, Ryan just hits the cowbell, but it's not a full cowbell. It's like I was wondering if they tried the cowbell and said, "No, the cowbell doesn't work," and then they edited it out, but still had that one little dink in there.
Really? No cowbell was on this record. We got to get it on though, because like there's some part I could hear it on that maybe, but maybe what you might be hearing is Graham and I, the other guitar player, we do this weird like harmonic thing on the on one of the frets where it's like kind of like a pinch harmonic thing, but we like harmonize it, and it sounds really weird. It's like during the break, but it's no cowbell, unfortunately.
You had a 50% chance, Turbo. You're batting like 500 right now with what you think you're hearing versus what we're hearing.
I remember on one record, I was doing some dude was like, dude, what is that sound on that one guitar? It was a slide guitar. It was like, it was like a huge ring. And the guy was like, is that like a French horn or something? I'm like, way off, dude. It's a guitar, man.
I mean,
That's
Turbo did. We talked to the band Black Lung, and he called out like some like ancient whistle. So Turbo got that
Really?
one
oh,
very
he has
right.
that
Right. It
Aztec
was
death whistle,
yeah, yeah. So
Dude,
wasn't
good
it?
ear, man.
yeah, it was pretty amazing.
That's cool.
Zach, this has been amazing. I want to
Yeah.
sum up quickly. Number one, the new record Loon comes out via Blues Funeral on April 17th. It rules. There are also a couple of really cool options of vinyl on the website. And just shout out to Jad and Blues Funeral for doing the PostWax subscription. If you guys don't have it and you're vinyl crazy people like I am, the variants and the covers, they're just ridiculously amazing. And the care that the crew takes into kind of curating and putting that together, I think they have the nerd record collector and me in mind when they do it. And I can't wait to see what the Abrams one looks like. But Zach, the new record's amazing. All the best. I can't wait till it comes out. Can't wait till everybody hears it. And congrats on it. And safe travels to Desert Fest. And all the best with this record.
Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for, having me on and, giving us the time and promoting the record. Really appreciate it, you guys.
Absolutely. We'll continue to do so to make sure everybody hears it. Because as Turbo mentioned, we want this to be the breakout Abrams record. That's our goal.
Let's make
All
it
right.
happen.
We'll make it happen. All right. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, seriously.